Welcome back to No Bias Hoops. Today we're going to be talking about every NBA free agency move that's happened so far and moves that I think could happen next. The first move was that the Jazz are going to waive Omer Yurtseven. Doesn't really matter, but anyways. The next one, Obi Toppin and the Pacers signed a 4-year, $60 million contract. It's pretty well deserved. Toppin was a good player this year. Indiana couldn't really afford to lose him. But that is a pretty good contract, so we'll see what happens. The next deal, Max Christie is returning to the Lakers. Luke Kornet is returning to Boston on a 1-year deal. The Clippers signed Kevin Porter Jr., which is very interesting. The Suns signed Mason Plumlee. The Mavericks, instead of signing Derrick Jones Jr., are signing Naji Marshall on a $27 million deal. Doesn't make any sense for me. Naji Marshall's a solid player for New Orleans, but Derrick Jones Jr. just helped you go to the finals, and you let him walk. So confusing. Eric Gordon signs a 1 year. It says 1 year. I think it's 2 years. $3.3 million deal with Philadelphia. Jonas Valanciunas gets a 3-year, $30 million contract with the Wizards, which this is interesting because I don't know what the Wizards are really planning to do. They're obviously not going to try to be good, but Valanciunas should be a player that will either be solid for them or they'll be able to move him at the deadline, so I like that deal for both sides. Drummond going to the Sixers on a 2-year, $10 million deal, which is amazing for the Sixers. And it just goes to show you how bad the Bulls are. Like, why would you not trade him at the deadline? Neemias Queta is back with the Celtics. Kevin Love, 2-year deal with the Heat. Kelly Oubre, 2-year, $16 million deal with the Sixers, which is great for Philly. Derrick Jones Jr. leaves the Mavericks, signs with the Clippers, which on a 3-year, $30 million deal. If I'm going to be honest, I think there's a very good chance that Derrick Jones Jr. ends up not playing as well for the Clippers, and that ends up being like a Davis Bertans type contract. The Magic, 3-year deal with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I don't think KCP will be very good for Orlando, so that also could end up being like a Davis Bertans type contract. Just hours after the Warriors waived Chris Paul, which I thought could end up being almost the end of his career, he signs with San Antonio. So we're going to see Chris Paul and Wemby play together. That's just super fun. And then the last deal of the day, James Harden and the Clippers sign a 2-year, $70 million contract. And interesting. Then today, the Jazz and Drew Eubanks signed a contract. So it's a 2-year, $10 million deal, replacing Omer Yurtseven. It's interesting. I don't know. Who knows what Drew Eubanks will be. Luka Garza returns to the Timberwolves. Oklahoma City is keeping Isaiah Joe, which is great. And Aaron Wiggins also going back to OKC on a 5-year, $47 million contract. So he got his bag. And then Jalen Smith signing with the Bulls. That's an interesting signing for the Bulls. I like that for them instead of Drummond. Milwaukee brought in DeLon Wright on a 1-year deal. Isaiah Hartenstein, 3-year, $87 million deal with OKC. That changes things for the Knicks. Now, the Knicks are still in a better position than they were with Mikal Bridges, but now they're going to have to find a new center because Isaiah Hartenstein was very good for them in the playoffs. Detroit signing Tobias Harris on a 2-year, $52 million deal. So Detroit was like, oh yeah, Tobias Harris, yeah, you were trash for Philly last season. Let's just give you the exact same contract. Very, very interesting. But Detroit just really wanted to do something with their cap space. Paul George signs with the 76ers. This is just insane. I mean, Paul George leaves James Harden and Kawhi Leonard alone and signs with the Sixers. The Sixers are going to be nice. They also re-signed Tyrese Maxey, 5-year, $204 million, and the Sixers are going to be nice. But perhaps one of the most insane NBA news that I thought I would never hear. Klay Thompson is going to the Dallas Mavericks on a 3-year, $50 million deal via sign and trade. I don't think we know the information of that trade yet, but Klay Thompson is no longer a Warrior. The Warriors lost Chris Paul. Oh, the Warriors are in trouble. If I was the Warriors, I would trade Draymond Green and I would trade Steph Curry because your team went from bad to last year to even worse this year. All they have done is lost players. Unless they got some good players from Dallas in that trade, I don't see any reason on why they should keep going for a championship. That's all the moves that have been so far. I'll probably make a new video 2 days from now about the new ones because I'm sure there's going to be tons of moves still to come. But the big ones, Paul George to the Sixers and Klay Thompson to the Mavs. I'm just going to talk really quick about a couple other players that could be interesting. I think De'Anthony Melton to the Jazz could be interesting. Then there's guys like, there's not a ton left. A lot of the good players in this free agency class have already been signed. But, we'll see what happens. I finished recording this video, and then a couple more moves happened, so I'll just cover them real fast. The Rockets and Aaron Holiday, 2-year, $10 million deal. De'Anthony Melton is on the Warriors, 1-year, $12.8 million deal. And Nick Batum goes back to the Clippers on, I believe, a 2-year, $9 million deal. But very, very interesting. Subscribe, and I'll probably keep posting new, at least shorts about new free agents. So subscribe, and see you next time on No Bias Hoops.